Welcome back to Villars-sous-Écot, round 7 of the FIM Motocross World Championship with me, Paul Malin, as we embark on MXGP Race 2, 30 minutes plus 2 laps around this hillside circuit that first hosted the Grand Prix back in 1982 when it was a 500cc category. Of course, we had a Motocross Nations here in 1988. That was won by Team USA. What a day that was, what a weekend it was as well, packed out here all around the place. Circuit's undergone major changes since then, of course, and this one here in 2023 almost unrecognisable to the one we raced back in 2017 when Jeffrey Herlings was victorious in the Premier class to add to his MX2 victory. But who will it be that stands on the top step here today? Of course, Romain Febvre will hope that it's him, because after race 1 there are, 3-4 contenders in the shout, in the pot for the overall victory here today. But as is always the case, motocross, World Championship motocross, always unpredictable. But the flares there, the red flares for the Swiss riders, Jeremy Seewer, Valentin Guillot. The racetrack now just starting to dry out. Still a little bit sticky in places, some sticky ruts, just under 1,800 metres long. And from the start straight, through the first couple of corners, the exit of turn 3, that's where sector 1 ends, sector 2 begins. Half a dozen corners later, sector 2 ends into sector 3, and then where you've got the 3, that's the end of sector 3 towards the finish line. And that's a lap of the track. The Swiss fans are in the house. They're enjoying their time here in France, as are we. The best weather conditions of the weekend so far. Not as breezy, but a lot warmer as well. It says 23, but it feels warmer than that outside, although maybe the temperature might be starting to drop a little. But as you can imagine, with a French Grand Prix, an Italian Grand Prix, there's always music, noise, smoke, flares. Just adds to the whole atmosphere around these racetracks. But if you weren't with us earlier on in the day and you wondered what happened in that first MXGP race, well, take a look here, because our race 1 highlights coming up next. MXGP race 1, and charging through from the centre of the gate, the number 91. Prado thought it was him, but it was Seewer over the Foxhole shot line for the 5th time this year. Just behind him, the number 3 of Romain Febvre. Fans on their feet for the return to form Frenchman on the Kawasaki. Prado was there in 2nd position. Herlings was in around about 5th or 6th place as they tipped around the inside, but he was quickly into 3rd, passing Febvre as Prado took over the lead on the number 61. Febvre then just muscled aside Jeffrey Herlings as he moved into 3rd place. And then the change for the lead came on lap 5. Seewer got the better of Jorge Prado to take over the lead on that Monster Energy Yamaha. The Red Bull Gas then took a look over his shoulder. Maybe then we knew that he was in trouble, possibly. He battled on gallantly, though, for another handful of laps or so, 6 or 7 laps before Romain Febvre came through on lap. Well, just a little bit later on in the race, wasn't it? Because those two were going for it right the way to the end. Backwards and forwards. Big moment here for Alberto Ferrato. Lucky to pick himself up and walk away from that one. Herlings, though, quick to join the party as Febvre dispatched off Prado. Herlings then making his way through as well. Pretty much got himself into 2nd place with about 4 laps to go. And then at top of the hill, Febvre got the better of Prado for the final time, because he did lose his way a little bit mid-race. That was down the hill, and then round the outside, he still had some work to do, and then just as he got on the gas there, Prado just lit up the back end, but he was a frustrated figure there in 4th place. But it was all about Jeremy Seewer, his first race win of the season, his 17th career victory, as he won race 1 from Herlings, Febvre, Prado, and Ruben Fernandez, with Mattia Guadagnini coming home in 6th place. So a little bit of calm before the storm then. This lane was down on the grid a few months ago. I think that kid there was just looking out for her. Can I see you down there? Well, here's what she had to say. She caught up with the standing construct Honda of Brian Bogus.
We're almost ready for the final race of the day, MXGP. We're almost almost ready for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2. Hopefully you can hear me over the French crowd. Let's catch up with standing construct Brian Bogus. Brian, firstly, let's catch up with you so far this season. Let's tell us how does it feel for you? How's it been now with 7 rounds in?
Actually, it has been a struggle all year already. You know, also for the team, the Honda bike was completely new, so we are still testing a lot of things and trying to find a good setup. But step by step, we're getting there. So also the bike feels, every race it feels better. But yeah, it just takes time, you know. So yeah, and also now I have some bad luck with struggling with sickness all week already, and this weekend also. So yeah, what I said, it's already all year a struggle, but yeah, I'm feeling step by step we're getting there, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season to get some good results.
I think it's just about getting that, you know, you just need one good ride and then use the momentum and enthusiasm from that, right?
Yeah, exactly, but yeah, we didn't got it yet this season, so who knows? This second moto, we go all in, and we will see what happens.
And just quickly, people are talking about this track. A lot of riders say it's quite a long track, isn't it? So you might actually get less lap times out of it. Would that make a difference?
Well, yeah, it's quite a long lap. I think also some parts are quite slow. So normally, we are more like high speed. But I think it's good. It's better to have a 2-minute track than a 1:30. So, so for the laps, it's better. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you feel better soon. Have a good race.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, good luck there to Brian and all the guys. It's time for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2.
Couverture chauffante, je t'interroge juste une seconde, on procède à un système de couverture chauffante pour les
Canada, shall we?
Voilà, on a décidé de...
So this weekend here in France at Villars-sous-Écot, round 7, 2 weeks time we head to Latvia, we'll be back to back with Germany the week later. Then we've got a week off, and then we've got the 2 Asian rounds, but we've had a change in the calendar there. Look, 17th September, we will have the MXGP of Italy at Maggiora. That replaces Vietnam. So keep your eye on that one if you are a fan of that particular racetrack, and I'm sure a lot of you are, even if for nostalgic reasons. Of course, the Monster Energy Motocross Nations at the end of the season, not too far from here at Ernay on the 7th and 8th of October. Valentin Guillot, number 92, taking his position behind the gate, but here's how the riders line up for MXGP Race 2. Jorge Prado on pole for the 5th time this year, having won the Ram qualifying race on Saturday. Jeremy Seewer, Jeffrey Herlings, Albi Ferrato. How battered and bruised is he as he lines up ahead of Calvin Verlanderen?
Qui prend une option très audacieuse à l'extérieur de la piste. On trouve également ses côtés.
So the riders taking their positions behind the gate in exactly the same order as they did for race 1, with Jorge Prado going to the line on pole for the 5th time this year, Jeremy Seewer, Jeffrey Herlings, Albi Ferrato, Calvin Verlanderen, Ruben Fernandez, Romain Febvre, Valentin Guillot and the rest. There's our first sighting of our race 1 winner, Jeremy Seewer, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MXGP. This kid has an unbelievable record in terms of Grand Prix appearances, because this weekend is his 176th Grand Prix start, his 171st consecutive start. Hasn't missed a Grand Prix in his entire career, professional career. Jeffrey Herlings, 2nd in race 1. He'll be hoping to reverse that result in race 2. Of course he will. So too Jorge Prado. Not sure what his problem was after lap 4, because obviously he got caught by Seewer, and then he was able to sort of hang on, but then the last 2 or 3 laps, 3 or 4 laps, he ended up getting passed by Febvre and Herlings, and he ended up coming home in 4th place. There is Romain Febvre. Can he do what he did in 2015 when he won his first ever MXGP Grand Prix victory here, about an hour and a half from where he grew up? He'll be hoping so, and so too will Kawasaki Racing Team. Rather depleted grid for race 2. Fly Racing 15-second board then, up for the final time this weekend. The MXGP of France at Villars-sous-Écot, 30 minutes plus 2. About to get underway here. Circuit had a little bit of prep in the 1 hour downtime between the first MXGP race and MX2 race 2. How will these guys deal with it? I'm sure it'll be a breeze. Heads down, gates drop. Scanning across the line here as Seewer once again, this time Foxhole shot number 6 for the Yamaha man. Romain Febvre right there alongside him again. And the French fans will once again be on their feet, I'm sure, as Prado there in third, Fernandez 4, Guillaume 5. Where's Herlings? He's around about 7th or 8th place, I think. Just there in the background, about 8th or 9th. 10th place, actually. Just to the outside through that next turn. But Fernandez there in 4th place. Prado 3rd as Febvre looks to dive down the inside of Jeremy Seewer. Well, Jeremy Seewer winning race 1. Definitely coming in here with a bag full of confidence at the start of race 2. Febvre tried to have a sneaky look up the inside of the Swiss rider. Just one sighting lap, of course, before the start of the race, before they went back to the waiting zone. So they know exactly what to expect around this racetrack. Look at the deep tramline ruts. As Herlings already up into 8th place, and Fernandez goes around Prado and takes over 3rd place. Top Spaniards once again, but then Prado goes back through. And there's Valandrin with a good start, and also Herlings bar to bar with Valentin Guillaume, like the old MX2 days between those two. Herlings riding that 2010 colour scheme KTM as he buries it round the outside of Guillaume and moves past the Swiss rider and goes after Valandrin. Gonna have to jump short there though. That's exactly what he does, and Guillaume goes back around the outside. Oh, cold enough in there as well. He gets the better of the 92. Or does he? Not quite. Get him over the line this time around. Seewer was leading, and he still is. Look at the top of the hill. Febvre still there in 2nd. Prado 3rd. Fernandez 4. Valandrin 5. Herlings 6. 7 Guillaume. Koldenhoff in 8th place. And then we've got Van Donnick 9. Paturel 10, who could not finish the first race on his retro-looking Yamaha as well. Those 80s colour scheme, white and red. But Prado under attack here from Fernandez and the 2 Spaniards there. Just dropping bottom left corner of your screen now. The Honda rider, Team HRC, takes the outside line at the bottom of the hill. Oh, is that Herlings just lighting up? Because Herlings just behind Valandrin in, what, 6th place? As we look at Prado, there is Calvin Valandrin, the number 10, Gavin Van Benroy Yamaha rider, the lead rider in this particular shot. Herlings looks to go around the outside, Guillaume up the inside with the yellow on the shoulders, number 92 there. The ship to cycle Honda SR Moto Blues rider as Koldenhoff closes in at the top of the hill in 8th place as well. Desperate to find his way through as Fernandez makes a mistake there, loses ground. That allows Valandrin to get back into contention. Lets Prado off the hook as well, crucially. Fernandez then goes tight to the inside, defends that 4th place. Jeffrey Herlings took a while to get going, didn't he? 11 of the 17 races, laps. Just sort of languished a few seconds off the pace, so not sure if the old dreaded arm pump in race 1 kind of reared its ugly head, but whatever it was, and he's got stuff hanging from his goggles there. Wow, he's got major issues here. What's hanging off of Herlings, if we can go close up on him, and he can see he's losing positions here. He knows he's got an issue. Loses a couple of positions there to Valentin Guillaume and Glenn Koldenhoff. Whatever it is, yes, flapping, look. Oh, it's a whole tear-off pack, possibly. This is disastrous here for Jeffrey Herlings. What is it? It's not even on that side, is it? It's the opposite side. Is that the goggle strap? Is his goggle strap broke? So Benoit Paturel, his goggle strap has broken. Look, Jeffrey Herlings is going to have to come in for some running repairs and change those goggles. Run back to the truck or back to the goggle back. So all of a sudden, Jeffrey Herlings then, who was in 5th place, 6th place, is going to be coming in. Obviously knows he can't push too hard and land too hard because those goggles may just fall out of the that part of the helmet where they're sort of fixed in at the moment. But look at that goggle strap just flapping around in the wind there. It could be anything. Were they just too tight and they've just pinged? Not something you see every day. A rare occurrence there. He's going to stay out there for another lap. He wants to know if they've got goggles. The goggle lane is at the end of the straight here. There you go. He can come in here. Oh! This will be interesting, because I'm not sure where the actual entry point to the goggle lane is. And that could be a costly error for the number 84. But also, they need to make it accessible. At the end of pit lane, there should be a little ramp to get up into there. So we'll wait to see the outcome of that then as Lupino goes through. And Herlings rejoins the race, and he is down in 20th position. But the Red Bull KTM rider, with a lot of work to do, and we'll keep an eye on the timing screens as a result of that. But it's Seewer who continues to lead. He's got about a second over Romain Febvre. Prado's third, Fernandez fourth. Here is the battle for the lead between Seewer and Romain Febvre. Nothing in it between the first two. Remember, Febvre was third in race one behind Herlings. Seewer was victorious. So as it stands right now, he can afford Febvre to go by him, but he's going to win a Grand Prix. He want to go 1-1, surely, especially with the disappointment of Switzerland with his home round earlier on in the year. Jeremy Seewer, where he had to settle for a 20th and a 5th place finish when he felt so good at the start of the weekend. Herlings quickly up into 17th place. As we look back here, behind Febvre, Prado still there in 3rd position. Remember the championship as we came into this race. Prado led Herlings by 4 points. And as it stands right now, Prado is going to be on 3.42, Herlings on 3.19. He's only going to be picking up 5 points as it stands right now to the 20 of Jorge Prado. So this could be a big moment, a big race for the championship before we get to the halfway stage in a couple rounds' time. And I'm sure Prado will know what's going on around him. The pit boards would have already been out. But we're on lap 4, MXGP race 2. When I saw that flapping, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say it was the goggle strap until we got a clear sighting of it. But as soon as we homed in on it, it was clear that was the issue. So Herlings now with a mountain to climb. Jeremy Seewer continues to lead. He's at the top of the hill. He's got Romain Febvre just there, right behind him, for Kawasaki Racing Team. Back marker just trying to stay out of the way as best he can. Right, here's Jeffrey Herlings. He's cruising. So Jeffrey Herlings has another problem. What has gone wrong now? Herlings is down in 25th place. And Jeffrey Herlings has an issue here. So the rider who finished Spain with 102 Grand Prix victories. Everyone concerned down there, every team. And looking down. Right, looking either down at the foot peg or the brake. So Jeffrey Herlings, this is big for the championship, and Jorge Prado. Maybe we get a camera down there in the, maybe we've already got a camera down there in pit lane, because it looks like he's going to be coming in. It'd be interesting to hear what the view is down there from Red Bull KTM. Maybe Harry Norton can shed some light on it once he's had a word with Jeffrey Herlings. But all of a sudden, Jorge Prado, who is 3rd in the race at the moment, he will move to 342 points. Jeffrey Herlings will stay on 3:19. In fact, he will... 3:18. Here he is. Problem with the bike. Big moment in the championship for the bullet. Yeah, foot peg hanging off, look. Broken foot peg, you can see it. Wow. Two things you don't see very often. A broken foot peg like that and a broken goggle strap, both happening to Jeffrey Herlings here in race 2. How unlucky can you be? So Jeremy Seewer, he won't care too much about that. He has a 1.3 second advantage over Romain Febvre, with Prado about another 3 seconds further back. Things looking good for the number 91 at the moment here, with 19 to go. So Jeremy Seewer continues to lead by 2 seconds then over Romain Febvre. Jeffrey Herlings out of the race, a broken foot peg after a broken goggle strap, sidelining the Bullet, who was going in search of GP win number 103. And all of a sudden you can see Jeremy Seewer, how he is gaining in confidence. Swiss fans urging him on. The French fans urging Febvre on behind him, who's got 2.3 seconds to make up to the Monster Energy Yamaha rider at the moment. But looked very smooth, very calm in the first race, did Jeremy Seewer. And he's obviously replicating that here in race 2. Just looking like he's on a training ride in this race here. But the big news is, as Seewer leads the way, Prado will extend his lead in the championship over Jeffrey Herlings to the tune of 24 points. Here's the story of the race. Watch this here. Right, Jeffrey Herlings has already had the goggle change. He comes into land. Oh, does the foot peg go there? Oh, that's the goggle strap there, look. So he signals to the crew to say, get me some goggles. I'll be making a goggle change. Does that just there, look. Rejoins the race, eventually. Panic station over. And then all of a sudden, he has to come back in, and just look down here, look. He already pulled up. Look at that foot peg just hanging off. So all the things they've done for the 102 Grand Prix victories, the replica bike from 2010, the retro look about it, the white rear fender, the gold boots and all that, all coming to nothing. And Herlings will leave here with just 22 points from race 1. Seewer still 2.5 seconds clear at the moment, though. 16.5 minutes plus 2 to go for him. Prado 3rd, Fernandez 4, Valandra 5, Guillaume 6, Koldenhoff 7, Van Donnik 8, Paturel 9, Guadagnini in 10th place. Podium as it stands right now would be Jeremy Seewer, 2 wins out of 2, 50 points. Romain Febvre on 42 with a 3rd and a 2nd, so 20 and 22. Jorge Prado would be 4, 3, 18 and 20. Or 3rd overall, and obviously making up for the lost podium in Spain at his home round, where he finished 4th overall. So far this weekend, in these 2 races, inch perfect for Jeremy Seewer. Romain Febvre would still love to get his first race win of the season, though, wouldn't he? Careful, lighting up that back end out of there, Roman. Won the last race of the year, if you recall, did the number 3 in 2022. Both riders being urged on. But it's Seewer who continues to lead the way. And it's one of those racetracks, isn't it, where if you rush, that's where you're going to make the mistake. But if you just hold that training sort of session vibe about the race here, Just hit your marks, hit your laps, click them off. Forget about everything else that's going around you. Easier than said than done. But all of a sudden, Romain Febvre just saying, you know what, I'm going to come back and have another go. Got it down to 1.5 seconds now as they reach the highest point on the racetrack. Oh, he almost folded the front there, didn't he? So for Jeremy Seewer, 1 minute he hears the Kawasaki behind him and then nothing, so you get that real concertina effect sort of going on behind. He knows when Febvre is close, knows when maybe he needs to up his own ante. Can't afford to leave the doors open, and Romain Febvre there, look, just searching for new lines, thinking, you know what, if I'm close enough here, I can make a move up the inside. See what else he's got up his sleeve. Similar lines downhill. Both occupying that middle rut, so won't be anything ventured or gained through there. Prado is just lurking about 4 seconds behind these two. Of course, no Maxime Renault this weekend. If you're joining us late to the party, didn't ride in Spain because of a foot injury, still has that foot injury. Not sure how long he's going to be sidelined for either, so a French rider missing his home Grand Prix. But for Romain Febvre, he's in a good position to be on the podium here this weekend for the 3rd time this season. 3rd in Switzerland, 2nd in Portugal. He'll be 2nd overall again here. What's happening behind these guys? Everybody, the only sort of battle really, Valentin Guillot 6th and Glenn Koldenhoff, those two are less than a second apart in that 6th, 7th place. So maybe we can go back to that at some point, because here they are, right on cue. Look, Koldenhoff all over the back of the 92, the ship to cycle Honda SR Moto Blues rider. Pulled a fantastic start right from the right-hand side of the gate yesterday in the qualifying race. Swept through here, came out in 3rd as everyone else backed off. Tried to do the same again in race 1. Not so fortunate, but he did come home with 7th in that first race. He's currently going to be looking at 6th overall in the Grand Prix, the rider who started 11th overall this weekend in the championship. That'll be his best finish as well, because he was 7th at round 3 in Switzerland, his home round. So Guillot under attack from Koldenhoff as the track just starts to retake some kind of shape after being fluffed up in the break. But how much more can he take from behind here, because all of a sudden Koldenhoff goes through. Nice sweet move, and Guillot has no reply. Koldenhoff up to 6th. So with 11.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go, things just settling down here, but it's still Seewer who leads from Febvre. Back marker between Seewer and Febvre in one of the slowest, tightest corners on the racetrack. 2 turns from the completion of the lap. Lap 9 will be in the books as soon as Seewer hits the line at the top of the hill here. After the first race, said they found something, made a good step. He just buried the back end and a bit too deep there, though, at the top of the hill. But 1.6. And watch this here. He has been absolutely lightning fast in the Vauxhall Shot Stakes recently. Jeremy Seewer through the first turn. Vauxhall Shot number 6. So the Monster Energy Yamaha rider got his first Vauxhall Shot. Race 1, Riola Sardo. Race 2 in Portugal, got both in Spain, and the first one here. So is he going to turn 2 Vauxhall Shots into 2 race wins this weekend? Easy, Jeremy, just up on the pegs. Able to correct that because it was stood up, actually. Had he been sat down at that moment in time, but what it has done is put him under pressure. Costly mistake at the top of the hill, because now the gap down to 1.2 seconds, maybe less. down to how he responds now, because he will know that he made that slight mistake. Back onto this plateau. Deep ruts there. You know there's a couple of lines you need to stay away from as you drop up onto that plateau by the pit lane area. But we're coming into crunch time here, MXGP Race 2. Nine minutes plus 2 laps to go here. MXGP Race 2. Still nothing in it between Jeremy Seewer of Switzerland on the Monster Energy Yamaha, who continues to lead from Romain Febvre, number 3, the home rider, the favourite. Grew up an hour and a half from here. His parents still live down the road there. Got a family and friends at the venue that he took his first ever MX Grand Prix victory, MXGP victory. Back in 2015 when he was Yamaha mounted, the year that he won the World Championship, of course, in this Premier class. Romain Febvre just knocking on the door, just keeping Jeremy Seewer honest. Here is the number 10 of Calvin Verlander, and he is in 5th place at the moment for Kevin van Venrooy Yamaha. He's got the number 17 Team HRC, the factory Honda rider of Ruben Fernandez, just ahead of him. Calvin Verlander will be leaving here 5th overall as it stands right now. That'll be for the 3rd time this season. But you can see how chewed up the racetrack is in these late stages. The sun's starting to disappear behind the clouds as we approach, we've just passed 5:30 local time here, 5:31. In the east of France, close to the Swiss border. With this spectacular racetrack right from the top there. But again, Romain Febvre closing in on Seewer. Seewer doesn't need to win the race to win the overall. But I'm sure he would have worked that out himself. I'm sure the mechanics would have told him that anyway, because his 1-2, if that's where he finished, would be better than Romain Febvre 3-1. But for Febvre, it'd be much more than just a visit to the podium. To win a race here, to cross the line and celebrate lighting the candles, to please those guys and girls over there on that left side and everybody around the circuit, the top end of the circuit that's packed into this Villars-Suzerain racetrack. That'll be a big moment for the former world champion, and he's getting closer, and the volume is going up higher and higher here as they round through the first turn once again to start lap 12. All of a sudden, Seewer under pressure. He looks over his shoulder. He sees Febvre there. He tries to close him down, and it's very tight in there, and Febvre goes through. No response there from the Swiss rider. We have a new leader on lap 12, and it is finally the number 3 of Romain Febvre. Can he stay there? Seewer knew he'd messed up in the corner before, tried to close down the door here. But Febvre was right there, said, no, you stay over there. I'm coming through, and that's it. So what kind of response can we get from Seewer as they charge down Monster Energy Mountain? Both sets of fans there on their feet. Number 97, Michael Ivanov there. Should know to stay out of the way, but just jumps right in between him and Febvre. That messes up Seewer completely. All he needed to do was look over his shoulder, Ivanov, the Bulgarian. So, just under 6 minutes to go. Fans on their feet. See Febvre in front for the first time in this race on this side of the circuit. Applauding his move. Charges uphill. Lap 12 in the books. Lap 13 now underway. Lap times 1:54.6, 1:56.4 for Seewer. Because of the mistake he made through this part of the racetrack a lap ago, getting held up by the lapper. But with a clear racetrack now, Romain Febvre. This is his race to lose. Prado is about 8.5 seconds further back. Will Seewer push? One last try, one last time. Maybe apply the pressure to the number 3. Gets through there nicely. Both of them get through there nicely. There's Prado heading downhill in the opposite direction. We just saw a flash of red from the Red Bull Gas rider. Just getting hung up on the crest there. So what a topsy-turvy Grand Prix we had here. Herlings fighting through the field to get to second in race 1. Goggle strap breaking. Gets his goggles replaced. Foot peg breaks. And he's out of the race. Jorge Prado all of a sudden going to be extending his lead to over Jeffrey Herlings. 24 points going into Latvia. Meanwhile, Romain Febvre leading at home in France. Jorge Prado is going to leave here, having extended his lead from 6 points to 24. Very rare mechanical issue for Jeffrey Herlings and that whole KTM team, to be fair. That was nice. Pick your front wheel up, get on the gas, double your way out, rather than try to jump. But there's your podium as we look at it at the moment. 47 points, Febvre 45, Prado 38. Fernandez and Valandren rounding out the top 5. There is Valandren just in the background. So just counting down then here, MXGP race 2. Things looking good for Prado. Ruben Fernandez here, number 17, Team HRC. And the number 10 of Calvin Valandren still giving chase to the Spaniard. Is he going to find a way through, though? These two in the championship. Fernandez 4th. He started the weekend 3rd, 10 ahead of Febvre. Febvre will go 2.63. Fernandez would also finish on 2.63. Seewer will be up to 5th on 2.43. Good methodical ride this, I think, from Ruben Fernandez. Not wanting to make any mistakes, just knows, again, it's that whole thing, isn't it? Push when you know you can, settle when you feel just a little bit uneasy. Of course, if you're going for a championship, that may change, that little scenario, because then you push all the time. Ruben Fernandez, who's there 4th overall in the standings at the moment. Febvre will move up to 3rd. Be a good day for the Frenchman. Seewer, 1.2 behind Romain Febvre, though. Oh, Guadagnini parked on the side of the track there. Into the final couple of corners then for Ruben Fernandez. Got a nice little comfortable gap over Valandren, 1.9. See what it is when he hits the line this time around. 1.8 now. 1.4 the gap between Febvre and Seewer. Here is your race leader. Sticking to that inside line. Here comes Jeremy Seewer, though. Is there going to be one last push? It looks like the Swiss rider, who was just a little bit off balance there through that long left-hander as he buried it deep into the rut. But Febvre needs to keep his guard on here. Says 1.6 at the last split, but at the moment, it looks like Jeremy Seewer is just starting to gain a bit of an advantage and loses it at the top of the hill. There's Guadagnini. Yeah, the gap's still hovering around 1.6 seconds. We are getting ready to take the 2-lap board here. Febvre and Seewer separated by the gap that you see on screen any moment now. The Kawasaki rider still being hounded by the Yamaha. The yellow flag there for Matteo Guadagnini, who just went out a moment ago, just on the side of the jump. Sitting up, seems okay, but reluctant to rejoin the race as these two look to dispute the race win. 14 laps complete, 2-lap board is getting ready at the top of the hill. Back marker needs to stay out of the way, I'm sure he will do. 155.7, 155.5, 2/10 in it that time around. The gap hovering around 1.2 seconds between the number 3 and the number 91, Febvre and Seewer, respectively. It's the Frenchman who leads race 2. The French fans on their feet, willing him on for the race win. It'll get him on the podium, second overall. It'll be his first race win of the season as well, being second a couple of times here and there. Race 1 Argentina, race 2 Switzerland, race 1 in Portugal. But these two heading uphill. Febvre knows he has this last push. Seewer knows he has to do that as well. He doesn't have to, because he's already going to be on the top step of the podium. And at what point does Jeremy Seewer just sit there and say, okay, risk versus reward? Am I going to be prepared to risk an extra 3 points for the overall Grand Prix victory? Febvre just squeezes the back marker there, and I think Jeremy Seewer may have just answered that question there. Looks like he's just dropping off the pace a little bit here as we near the end of this penultimate lap. Finish line there, just on the crest of the horizon. Last time, Jeremy Seewer won a Grand Prix. It was Sweden last year. Uddevalla, August 7th, 2022. And as Romain Febvre heads uphill to start his final lap, he will do so knowing that he has probably around about 2 seconds in hand. 4 seconds now, because Jeremy Seewer has decided to back off and let Romain Febvre take the race win. I'm sure he will look across at some point or realise that there is no threat from behind, and he will be able to cruise to a comfortable win. But he hasn't looked around yet. Just maintained his focus and his poise, and he's been absolutely inch perfect around this racetrack here in race 2. Put up a great fight in race 1 to get himself into third in what was a fantastic battle between him, Jeffrey Herlings and Jorge Prado. And his way past Prado the final 3 laps of the race. No celebrations just yet though. Tricky part of the racetrack, deep ruts, top of the hill, bending right before they drop down. Monster Energy Mountain for the final time. A raucous reception for the number 3. The French fans. Now he looks across and says, okay, now it's mine. 5.5 seconds in the back pocket. May salute the team as he goes by pit lane for the final time. Romain Febvre. He does. Can't believe it. Dream come true this for Romain Febvre. It's not going to be for the top step, but it will be for a race win at home, at his home Grand Prix. Not too far from where he grew up here. Takes one last look over his shoulder to be sure. And listen to that reception. And now he celebrates with the fans down there. Romain Febvre is going to win race 2 here at Villars-sous-Écot. Will there be a heel clicker at the top of the hill? Not this time around, but Romain Febvre wins the race. Seewer wins the French Grand Prix. And Jorge Prado will extend his championship lead at the top of the MXGP standings as well. We will talk to Jeremy Seewer in just a moment. But for Jeremy Seewer, the Monster Energy Yamaha rider, His 50th podium, his 11th career victory. He wins here at Villars-sous-Écot, just over the border from his home country. As the fans converge onto the racetrack here, they want to get the best shot of the podium. Got to be careful though, because there's still riders out on the racetrack here. And we got to be careful because look, as they start to crest. Here's Lisa with our winner.
Jeremy Seewer, 2 foxhole shots and a race win and a second. You've waited a long time for this overall victory.
Too long, way too long. It almost feels unreal, like wow. Where I came from with the crashes I had, with the way how I felt with my body, like really destroyed lining up on races. This feels like amazing. I don't even realize it yet, you know. I mean, that second race, hats off to Romain. He was quick because I was pushing hard until I realized I can't gap him, you know. But I knew I had the overall, so I was thinking smart. But no, amazing to be back. And now I try to keep this momentum going. And even, you know, I think out of the last 6 starts, I won 5 of them. So this is like, wow, things are rolling now finally. So lucky the season is still long and I'm going to keep working. Thanks, guys.
Great job. Enjoy it.
Jeremy Seewer, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MXGP, first visit to the podium. Well, you may as well make it count, make it a good one. Top step for the number 91 here this weekend. Absolutely sensational in race 1. Jeremy Seewer coming home second in race 2, which was enough to be winning the Grand Prix here with that victory in the first race as well, the 2 scores combined. But Jeremy Seewer then settling for that. Gave credit to Romain Febvre there, who said, saying he was fast. He said, I was pushing, but Romain was fast, but he said he knew he had the podium locked down, the top step, so that was it. But Jorge Prado is going to be 3rd overall, the championship leader in his 115th Grand Prix start with a 4th and a 3rd. Romain Febvre wins race 2 from Jeremy Seewer, Jorge Prado, Ruben Fernandez, Calvin Villana and Glenn Koldenoff. And then Valentin Guillot, Brent Van Donick, Benoit Paturel, Tom Cock, Brian Bogus, Henry Jacobi, Stefan Rubini, Alessandro Lupino, Mitch Evans in 15th, Alvin Osnan, Petar Petrov, Ben Spies, and we had Prosy and Dickinson in the points there in 20th place, Ashton Dickinson. The overall classification, though, this weekend at Villars-sous-Écot belongs to Jeremy Seewer. A win and a second, 47 points. His first visit to the podium, his first Grand Prix victory of the season. His first Grand Prix win since Uddevalla in Sweden, August 7th, 2022. It's also his 50th career podium. What a way to celebrate that then from the top step. Second overall, Romain Febvre, Jorge Prado 3rd, Jeffrey Herlings, who was 2nd in race 1, 9th overall for the Red Bull KTM rider. And Jorge Prado now extends his lead again. It was 6 at the start of the weekend, 8 after the qualifying race, down to 4 after race 1, but all of a sudden out to 24 now as we head to round 5. It's been that kind of a weekend in the championship chase this weekend. Yamaha go back ahead of Gas in the Manufacturers' Championship then, 352 to 348. No change elsewhere. KTM still there in 3rd ahead of Honda and the rest. But what a noise, what a reception. If you've never been to a Grand Prix in Europe, why not come to a French round, a Spanish round, an Italian round? In fact, you know what, go anywhere. They're all mad. They're all bonkers. Just ask that lot there. Let's take a look at the foxhole shot, shall we? Right at the start of the race. Jeremy Seewer, just like he did in race 1, launched over the foxhole shot line for the 6th time, and back-to-back foxhole shots here today. Kid knows how to get out at the start all of a sudden. Goes to the top of the leaderboard, ties with Jorge Prado. go down to the podium. Just looking at some of the characters. Third overall this weekend then, Jorge Prado, Red Bull Gas Factory Racing. A fourth and a third. It's a good day for the Spaniard. Just looks up, makes sure the flag is intact. Second overall, Romain Febvre. What a day, what a ride in race 2. Third in race 1, a win in race 2. Wife and daughter there as he stands on the second step of the podium here at his home Grand Prix. But for Jeremy Seewer, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MXGP, the top step of the podium in what, 12, 13 rounds, something like that. His first visit to the podium this year, his first win of the season. First race win as well. Came earlier on in the day. And Jeremy Seewer will enjoy this moment. This is kind of like the Swiss Grand Prix that never was. The amount of home support that he has here this weekend. Jorge Prado with his third place trophy there for Red Bull Gas Factory Racing. Charles Demouge there hands the second place trophy, possibly the biggest roar of the day for Romain Febvre, a winner here in race 2 and is literally his home Grand Prix circuit. 3-1 for the Frenchman on the Kawasaki. The biggest trophy of all, though, goes to Jeremy Seewer, Monster Energy Yamaha. Top step for the Swiss rider, making up for lost ground at home in Switzerland, round 3, where so much was expected. Maybe he expected quite a lot that day, but in terms of the championship, Mr. Antonio Elia Portela, the FIM CMS director, with the red plate. It stays fixed on the front of Jorge Prado's Red Bull Gas, who has extended his lead from 6 points to 24 as we head to Latvia in 2 weeks' time in the circuit of Kegums. There's your top 3. Jeremy Seewer, Romain Febvre and Jorge Prado. And what a podium we've got down here. And for Jeremy Seewer and his army of Swiss fans, the Swiss national anthem. National anthem of Switzerland for Jeremy Seewer, and Japan for winning manufacturer this weekend, Yamaha. The Seewer wagon is well and truly rolling this weekend at Villars-Suzerain as he stands on the top step of the podium for his 11th Grand Prix career victory, flanked by home favourite Romain Febvre and Jorge Prado. We will talk to the top 3 in just a few moments' time. Before that, though, here's the highlights of the race. MXGP Race 2 here in France. Jeffrey Herlings buried there, look, just behind Jorge Prado as Jeremy Seewer swept through the first turn for his second foxhole shot of the day, his 6th of the campaign so far. Febvre was right there behind him. But it wasn't long before we started seeing a little bit of weird out on the racetrack, and it involved Jeffrey Herlings. There, look, goggle strap, ping, came in for goggles. Not something you see every day. Came to the goggle lane, got the goggles changed, rejoined the race, but about a lap later, he came back in because his right foot peg had broken and bent, and that was Herlings out of the race. He was second in race 1. Meanwhile, Glenn Koldenoff up the inside of Valentin Guillot to move into 6th place. That's where he would finish. Seewer had led the entire race until lap 12, and all of a sudden, Romain Febvre came through to take over the lead. He led then for the last 5 laps. Seewer then just had 1 or 2 little moments and decided, you know what, it's all yours, and that was the moment there. There was the heel clicker from Romain Febvre. And as he comes into land and takes the checkered flag, he wins the race to the delight of the French fans. But it was Jeremy Seewer who was on the top step of the podium. Here he is with Lisa.
Jeremy Seewer, congratulations. 2 foxhole shots, a win and a second. Okay, you lost the lead in that second race, but you're playing it safe. You're thinking of the overall. You needed this victory. You deserve this victory.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to win, you know. I never had a 1-1, and I was pushing hard and had a good flow and everything. But, yeah, Romain was quick, you know. He had good lines. He was quicker in 1 or 2 sectors. It's hard to not make any mistakes, you know, so I did a few. But no, it's amazing. After all, you know, to have a win, you forget about all the negativity, and it's amazing to see the fans out there. I mean, it's incredible. The start straight is so long, and it's packed full of people. So, no, amazing. Thanks to everybody, team, family, you know. It's a lot of hard work behind the scenes, but yeah, we keep going, and this gives me some energy again, you know, and I'm looking forward now for the next GPs. Thank you.
So it's almost like the Swiss GP that never was.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, because it's super close to Switzerland. It was like a revenge, you know. I mean, it's not quite the same, but still a lot of Swiss fans, lots of Swiss flags. My fan club was out there, so I gave them what they wanted today, and this is amazing.
Great job. Thank you, Jeremy. Second overall today, we have Romain Febvre. Romain, a 3rd in race 1, and a fantastic move on Seewer to bring home the race win in front of your home crowd. I mean, this is for you.
Yeah, sure. I feel I deserve that place because of what happened last weekend. 2 weeks ago in Spain. Yeah, we thought like the season is over, and here I almost win the GP. So yeah, it's fantastic for the team, for everyone, for Kawasaki. So yeah, let's keep working and then trying to catch some points on the lead.
Thanks, Romain. 3rd overall today, we have Jorge Prado. Jorge, a 4th and a 3rd. A good day for you. I know you faded a little bit in that first race, but a massive, massive extension on your championship lead.
Yeah, I mean, overall it was a good weekend. I had a very big takeoff, very big crash on free practice yesterday, and this morning I woke up quite stiff. So that first moto, you know, I was leading, I was riding okay. I just lost a bit my rhythm, and then with the lappers, I just lost, the 2 positions. So not the best one, but I pushed hard in the second one to maintain this 3rd place. It was the best I could do. I just pushed. I did my 100%, and it was a good moto. The guys up front were riding very fast, and like you said, we extend the lead, and that's very important. We're still on the podium. It's consistency. It's the key here. So no, super happy. Thanks to the Red Bull Gas Factory Racing team and everybody who's supporting me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Jorge Prado, Red Bull Gas Factory Racing then 3rd overall this weekend, finds himself back on the podium. So 6 out of the 7 Grand Prix he's been there, so a consistent season as well. And he extends his lead over Jeffrey Herlings now to 24.